Hey everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to go and take a look at my local hobby store, and I'll just be going through a tour of it and what it looks like. So let's go right now. So when you go into the store, you'll be greeted by this glass case here which says new arrivals, and these are all the new locomotives that come into the store. So up here we've got a CP Rail SC70 ACU by Athearn Genesis. Very new model, looks really sharp. Moving down, we've got some other locomotives and those two containers there which have opening doors, which are very nice. And over to the left here near the windowsill, you can see a bunch of wiring, a bunch of stuff to maintain your track, to maintain your locomotives, oil and all that stuff. And we've got a bunch of lighting systems by Woodland Scenics here, some Tidy Track. And moving over to the right here, this is all the used locomotives. So these are all locomotives that have been used before, none of these are brand new, but they're all in pretty good condition. Up here we can see some Kato CN SD40-2s, very nice. And that CSX locomotive, I don't know why anyone hasn't gotten it. That thing's been there for like a very long time, ever since my first visit to the hobby, which was about a year ago. And a ton of Atlas stuff again, got some Interbourbons there. The store has almost everything you can think of: Scale Trains, Intermountain, Kato, Broadway Limited, Lifelike, everything's here. It's kind of like a one-stop shop. And you got some RDCs, a bunch of kits there, and these are some used freight cars. They've got a bunch of these in the other sections. You can see some spine cars down there, some pretty nice weathered hoppers, a ton of box cars, some more box cars, gondolas, hoppers, and that crane there which looks really cool by Walters. And they've also got a few European stuff down there, as you can see. And over here we've just got some miscellaneous stuff like details for your layout. And actually I didn't realize this in the video, but there was actually a pack of graffiti there. The store hasn't had them in for quite a long time. And I was looking for one, but I actually missed it, so yeah. And over here we've got a bunch of Osborne model kits, a lot of detail parts here, miniatures by Eric, a bunch of those Cal scale decals, all that. And back here just some more details too. Bunch of details, West products too, as you can see down there. And if we just head over here, they have a bunch of figures by Woodland Scenics. We've got figures by Bachmann, all that stuff. We've also got some building kits and some light up crossing gates that actually work by Walters. And over here they've just got a bunch of bushes from Woodland Scenics, some tiny scenery items. As we make our way over here, this is the shelf that contains mostly all new locomotives. We've got some very nice steam engines up here. We also have an FA set down there, I believe it is, some Walters F480s, a Athearn F59 PHI, and some very nice Scale Trains Rivet Counter locomotives. And moving down, these are just some used locomotives, or locomotives that haven't been assembled yet by Kato. And over here we've got all the very high quality locomotives, as you can see: Rapido, Atlas Master Series, Scale Trains, Athearn Genesis, all at fairly decent prices, I would think. Down here we've got a bunch of CP. And down here we've just got some various railroads: BNSF, Union Pacific, Santa Fe. And as we turn over to our left here, we can see a bunch of trucks and couplers, all by Rapido, Katy, many companies, Intermountain Wheels, all at really good prices. This is one thing I like about this store. It's one of the few stores that I think that are very organized and have fairly decent prices on everything. I believe it's all fairly reasonable. And these are some intermodal containers that actually open the doors like we saw earlier. And here's the store's main layout. It's pretty nice. It's a small layout, but I believe they put a lot of effort into it, and it really pays off. You can see it's a fairly nice layout. You got a bunch of switches everywhere. You got a mountain there, goes over a bridge with some water. Still in the process of doing it. Down here we've got some starter sets, and over here just some miscellaneous passenger cars, not sure what they really are. And they actually sell t-shirts, and that's me knocking over one. Got some fairly nice t-shirts. That's a Toronto, Hamilton, and Buffalo locomotive up there. And they've got a bunch of paints here, and also decals, which I didn't know they had. So over here is another shelf with a bunch of rolling stock. You can see some Scale Trains auto racks there, some Walthers auto racks, and some more Walthers building kits. Very nice Scale Train, terrific counter one. And moving up, we've just got some Rapido, some Atlas, some Athearn Roundhouse vehicles. And in this case, they've got all the high-end brass locomotives. And over here, they've got some more brass locomotives, a very nice New Haven passenger set, and a very nice Amtrak F40. And this really shocked me. I never knew this store had Z-Scale. That's some Z-Scale stuff down there. Z-Scale is one of those scales that you usually don't see too much at shops, so it's very nice that they have some. So here's a section of the store that I find I don't actually visit quite often. Actually, I haven't visited this section in a very long time. This is the N-Scale section of the store. As you can see, they've got a bunch of freight cars by Atlas in the jewel cases, some well cars, a bunch of box cars and all that stuff. Got some Midwest Cork Road bed down there. A lot of companies, Broadway Limited, some Kato pieces. Got a set of Kato well cars. They look pretty nice. Got some Rapido stuff, a bunch of Atlas and Athearn Genesis models. Very nice, some Dash 8s up there. And a bunch of Rick's products kits and some Walthers kits too. Very nice. A few locomotives, you can see their stock has been cleared out very well. Got a bunch of intermodals, containers. And that's also another thing that I should say, the store always has new stock every once in a while. There's always new stock every time I go. And I usually go every week to pick up stuff for my railroad. So you can see here I've got a bunch of N-Scale switches and track, a bunch of building kits, all in used condition. And down here we've got a lot of O-Scale, which is something you don't see at stores that often. The store's got everything from Z-Scale all the way to G-Scale, which I find pretty impressive. Over here we've got an MRC controller. I really like this controller because it shows the current draw and the voltage being going into the track. And just a bunch of other G-Scale stuff and O-Scale. These are all the couplers and wheel sets for O-Scale, I believe it is. And down here in the corner we got a bunch of locomotives. I'm not sure what manufacturer they are, but they're very nice CP Heritage units there. And over to our right we've just got some more freight cars, I believe in O-Scale. And just some more locomotives here. And moving down to the right of the store, this is in the middle, they've got a little library of all magazines. A bunch of cool magazines there that will help you on your wiring track and if you're getting started. Over here we've got a bunch of DCC decoders, soundtracks decoders, speakers, ESU. And up top here we've got some DCC controllers, a lot of NC power caps. And down here we've just got some generic DC controllers. And a bunch of LEDs and lighting systems, and again some more books on DCC. And stepping into the left side of the store, we can see we've got a bunch of HO scale switches, bunch of scenery, bunch of Cork Road bed down here, Super Trees by Scenic Express, some Bachmann Easy Track, a bunch of Kato Unitrack and Atlas Track. And over to your left here on this turning shelf, whatever you want to call it, they've got a ton of scenery items, a bunch of realistic tree kits, a bunch of Woodland Scenic scenery items. Basically everything you need for scenery for your layout is all here. Got Scenic Cement, a bunch of ballast. And over here we've got a bunch of risers and inclines, so if you're modeling grades on your layout, those would be very handy. And on this other rotating thing, we've got a bunch of other scenery items. These are mainly tunnel portals, plaster, all that kind of stuff, hot wire knife, and some rock molds, I believe. Some already pre-made rocks. I suggest you getting the rock molds yourself, so you can always constantly make ones instead of getting the pre-made ones. Over here are some more tree kits, the Woodland Cedix Mountain Valley layout bundle thing. Up there are some more trees, those are pre-made. Over here we've got some water paint, and down here we've got a bunch of scenery, grass, and up here a bunch of ballast. Also a bunch of cool buses, which look very sharp. And those are just the realistic trees that come pre-made. Over to the right here, we've got a bunch of building kits, all in which are new, mostly by Walters. As you can see, they've got a ton of Walters kits. And over here is where all the new and unopened freight cars are. As you can see, a bunch of Athearn down there. You can see some Scale Trade Rivet Counters, Eater Mountain, Accurail, Bachmann, some more Athearn, Atlas. They've got everything here. All at fairly decent prices too. And if we just turn around to our right here, we can see a bunch of freight cars on the consignment. These are just some lower quality freight cars that don't deserve to have a spot in the glass case. But there can always be some turnover in these boxes, as I found a very nice, highly detailed freight car here one time. And in that bin there, right in front of me, that's where you can usually find the good stuff. Up top here, we've just got a bunch of used buildings, and just some miscellaneous freight cars too. So right here is the store layout. I just shot this train running around it. And conveniently enough, this store is located just across the tracks from the CN York sub at around milepost 16. So that's just a train that I shot a week ago going by. And I totally recommend this store to anyone who's getting started in the hobby. They've got everything, they've got every scale, the staff are super nice there. They're very helpful. They've got pretty much anything you need to build your layout. And on June 4th, 2022, the store is going to be operating for 6 years, so they are hitting their 60th anniversary. I totally recommend you to go check it out on June 4th if you can make it. The store opens at 9, so that's when it's going to be. There's probably going to be some door prizes, as said. And the barbecue's from 11 AM to 2:30 PM, so if you can make it, definitely check it out. They've got special deals, they've got sale items, and yeah, just a very good store. And this store is also one of the only train stores in the Greater Toronto area. This store is just 10 minutes away from my house, and they ship practically anywhere. I've heard them ship stuff all the way across the sea to the United Kingdom. They ship down to the States as well. And they also ship, basically, as I said, anywhere in the world, so definitely check the store out. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching.